The same FBI that can't seem to get to the bottom of who's been bombing pregnancy clinics for the past few months reportedly sent a couple dozen armed agents over to a pro-lifer's house and hauled him out at gunpoint in front of his wife and 7 screaming kids, and you won't believe what for. Because apparently you can get away with throwing Molotov cocktails through pro-life center windows, spraying threatening messages all over their sidewalks and walls, even burning their buildings to the ground, and that gets shoved to the back of the DOJ's filing cabinet. But if you're a pro-lifer who defends your child against a rabid abortion supporter, that will land you in jail. The wife of a pro-life activist said that at least 24 armed FBI agents with President Joe Biden's DOJ showed up to her home and carted her husband off over the weekend, supposedly over a minor altercation he'd had with an abortion supporter outside of a reproductive clinic last year. According to a Fox News report, Mark Houck, a pro-life activist who founded a Catholic men's mentorship group called the King's Men, was arrested in front of his 7 children at about 7 a.m. by FBI agents who showed up at his home and demanded that he come with them. Houck's wife, Ryan Marie, told the Catholic news agency that the arrest stemmed from a dust-up he'd had back in October of 2021 with an abortion supporter who had been escorting patients to and from the Planned Parenthood Elizabeth Black Health Center in Philadelphia, where Houck prayed and preached every Wednesday. According to Ryan Marie, her husband had shoved the 72-year-old man only after the guy had gotten in the face of Houck's 12-year-old son screaming obscenities. The man reportedly tried to sue, but even that case was thrown out by the district court in Philadelphia, only to be picked up by the Department of Justice. According to the DOJ, Houck violated the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, which makes it a federal crime to use force with the intent to injure, intimidate, and interfere with anyone because that person is a provider of reproductive health care, Fox News explains. Jacqueline McGuire, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Philadelphia division, said, and I quote, "Violating the FACE Act by committing a physical assault is a serious crime for which the FBI will work to hold offenders accountable." So serious, in fact, that the agency felt it necessary to send a cadre of armed agents to Houck's door to haul him off in front of his kids. Now, this is the same FBI who couldn't seem to make heads or tails of literally dozens of violent attacks on pregnancy clinics across the country. You know, when those centers were being vandalized, smashed in, firebombed, burned to the ground? Whatever. I seem to recall back in June when the FBI said they were looking into Jane's Revenge as a possible domestic terrorist group, which it doesn't take a rocket scientist to define, but sure. Now maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't believe the fine folks over at the FBI have made a single arrest in connection to those targeted attacks. Of course, this is the same FBI that can also find the time and manpower to raid Trump's home, but dang it, they've had Hunter Biden's laptop for about 2 years now, and golly gee, where'd we put that thing again? What a politicized pile of hacks. Are you kidding me? You can find all the time in the world to fabricate and lie and spin webs to get a FISA warrant to spy on Trump, but you can't take a gander at a crackhead's laptop to see if the leader of the supposedly free world might have been taking cuts of illicit business dealings with a country that hates us. Looking at you, China. And here we are again, watching the FBI outright ignore literally dozens of violent attacks on pregnancy clinics by a terrorist group that's been leaving a calling card. But apparently if you shove a dude who's screaming profanity 2 inches from your kid's face, you can count on getting a knock at your door and more than a few guns pointed at your nose, all because you're a pro-lifer. And that's against the rules. I find it funny and more than a little sad that Hillary Clinton spent the weekend blathering on about how Trump supporters at his rallies are like Nazis saluting Hitler.
I remember as a young student, trying to figure out how did people get basically drawn in by Hitler. How did that happen? And I'd watch newsreels and I'd see this guy standing up there ranting and raving and people shouting and raising their arms. I thought, what's happened to these people? Why did they believe that? You saw the rally in Ohio the other night. Trump is there ranting and raving for more than an hour, and you have these rows of young men with their arms raised. I thought, what is going on? So there is a real pressure, and I think it is fair to say we're in a struggle between democracy and autocracy.
You know what's actually autocratic? Weaponizing a federal law enforcement agency to investigate certain crimes and target certain people based on their beliefs. while completely ignoring violence and hate that doesn't fit the narrative. I know the left loves to change the meaning of words when it doesn't suit them, but that's actual fascism. But hey, all of this is entirely on the up and up, according to the feds. U.S. Attorney Jacqueline Romero defended Houck's arrest and whatever use of force came along with it, saying assault is always a serious offense. And under the FACE Act, if the victim is targeted because of their association with a reproductive health care clinic, it is a federal crime. Our office and the Department of Justice are committing to prosecuting crimes which threaten the safety and rights of all individuals. Bull crap. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and Rumble, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.